Good day, I'm Stacey Ann Smith and this is your JIS News for Monday, October 7. Government is moving quickly to strengthen legislation to help reduce the global threat of cybercrimes in the island. On October 1, a consultation report on the amendments to the Cybercrime Act was tabled in Parliament. State Minister of Science, Technology, Energy and Mining, Julian Robinson, says the proposed amendments will bolster the legislation while increasing penalties for cybercriminals. Provision is also being made for a review of the Act every 5 years.
One of the things we did in reviewing the Act, we ensured that we were technology neutral in our descriptions because we recognize that the technology changes very quickly. But we believe 5 years is sufficient time to allow whoever is in the position to ensure that the laws are consistent with the types of criminal activities that are taking place.
The State Minister was speaking recently at the National Conference on Cybersecurity and Digital Forensics at the University of the West Indies. Meanwhile, Jamaica and Cuba are to craft new agreements to combat drug trafficking and other transnational crimes affecting the region. National Security Minister Peter Bunting told JIS News that the agreements should improve procedures and operative techniques. The new agreements come on the heels of Minister Bunting's 3-day official visit to Cuba, where he met with top security officials to review the Jamaica-Cuba maritime and police cooperation agreements. Both agreements expired on September 30. Discussions were also held on medical assistance, language training, and exchanging information on best practices in the maritime industry. Jamaica and Cuba also explored ways to improve our country's capacity to use dogs to detect illicit drugs. At-risk youth in St. Elizabeth now have a practical means of learning critical life values after the recent opening of the General Colin Powell Challenge course. The facility was set up to teach participants the value of teamwork, building resilience and confidence. Justice Minister Mark Golding has endorsed the initiative, saying it is one way of diverting young people from criminal activities.
The best form of diversion is to provide opportunities to the youth of Jamaica to build constructive values of citizenship, to uplift their self-esteem and to provide them with hope for the future. That is the surest way of tackling the backlog of criminal cases in our courts.
The facility was named in honor of former United States Secretary of State General Colin Powell, who is originally from that community. Education Minister Reverend Ronald Thwaites is asserting that by fiscal year 2015-2016, more teachers will be able to find jobs in the education system. He was speaking at a recent ceremony to mark Research Day at the St. Joseph's Teachers College.
We have an overflow of teachers for the next 2 years, but the process of attrition that is underway will mean that by the time many of you graduate, there will be a strong a need for a large number of good teachers. But we have to rethink how we are going to approach enrollment and promotion in the teaching profession.
The Education Ministry hosted a job fair in August of this year to help more than 800 teachers find jobs. Hundreds of persons, including parliamentary representatives from the government and opposition, turned out on Sunday morning to celebrate the life of the late Cecil Charlton. In her tribute, Prime Minister Portia Simpson-Miller lauded him as a major local government advocate and stalwart who proudly represented the people.
His passionate advocacy in the field of local government earned him the title Mr. Local Government. This giant of a man was recognized by his colleagues as a visionary reformer and expert in the field of local government. The service Cecil gave to his community and the voluntary service he gave to organizations even outside of his immediate environs was priceless.
Cecil Charlton was one of the longest-serving mayors in Jamaica and gave 38 years of service to the Manchester Parish Council. He was a former chairman for the National Water Commission, a successful businessman and philanthropist. And finally, Prime Minister Portia Simpson-Miller welcomed the FIFA World Cup trophy to Jamaica on the weekend. The trophy is on a 9-month, 89-country tour, with its final destination being Brazil in 2014. Mrs. Simpson-Miller said its presence on the island would serve to inspire Jamaicans.
I am sure the presence of the trophy here and the number of Jamaicans that will be able to see the trophy, I am sure it will be a motivation to football players and the general population.
And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stacey Ann Smith. Thank you for watching.